Hi, and welcome to Eating Plebeian. Today we are making a barbecue-style roast chicken over top of Greek potatoes. And this is kind of one-pot mashup, except there's no pot, it's a baking tray. But it's a very herby, savory creation that I'm sure that there's probably a lot of people that have had this sort of thing before. This is, chicken, roast chicken and potatoes. But you can really dress this up and really make it something that that you're looking forward to. And if we're talking comfort food here, this fits the bill. So let me talk about some of the things that I've got in front of me here. I have got 2 to 2.5 pounds of russet potatoes. Those have been skinned and chopped up and ready to go. About 5 carrots. These have also been peeled and chopped down to about 1.5 to 2 inch pieces. 1 onion that has been quartered. I've got 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of what is your favorite Greek seasoning. I'm using Cavender's. No, there's no relation between us. This isn't a sponsorship or promotion. I just happen to like them. 1 lemon's worth of juice, that is fresh squeezed. It does make a bit of a difference. If you can do it, do it. 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. These are all minced up fine. Salt, pepper, and I've got some cooking oil over here that obviously we're going to be using. So that cooking oil is actually a refined olive oil that has all the temperature sensitive proteins and things filtered out, so we can actually use it for a little bit of a higher heat cook. So getting started, I also have this chicken here, and this is about a medium-sized job. We're going to be addressing this one in a minute, but I wanted to get the potatoes started. I'm going to set this off to the side here if you don't mind. The potatoes need to get a bit of a head start on the cook. So I'm going to take these things, I've got them sitting in water so they didn't brown before I started hitting the record button. So you'll excuse me if I'm doing something off camera. So there we are. So nice and firm. And I'm also going to grab that oil. Boy, talk about not being prepared. Now, you know, we do what we got to do. We're all rushing around these days. So I'm going to put about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil into these potatoes. Actually, I'm going to put them in with these carrots, because this is what's going to allow us to kind of toss them around a bit. We want equal distribution of all the salt, the pepper, and to that seasoning here that I was talking about. So the seasoning is going in, as well as the garlic, the lemon juice, and I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of black pepper. I have my oven running at 375 degrees in a standard roasting pattern. And I'm going to put in a teaspoon or a little over a teaspoon of kosher salt. That's about got that there. So we need to mix these up, and this is why I opted for such a large pan to do it in. Theoretically, I could have done it in the roasting pan, but it's all right. So we get this on in, make sure that they're all coated, top and bottom, and we've got a nice liquid base for those potatoes and the carrots to kind of suck in. Now with all the lemon juice, but more particularly the olive oil, that is going to keep things in a non-stick fashion for the tray. Didn't bother with putting Pam in it or anything. It's not really needed when everything you've got it is pretty well covered. So I'm going to get these down to as singular a level as I can. You'll find that the potatoes and the carrots will cook quicker toward the edge. So keep these literally, one item high on the bottom. It's going to help us out. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and it's going to go there for 25 minutes first. We're going to actually pull it out afterwards, and we're going to stir the things around, flip everything over, and put them in for another 20 minutes after that. Then the chicken goes on. Believe it or not, the chicken doesn't take that much time at all, especially as we've spatchcocked it. I'll be addressing that in just a second. But for the time being, I'm going to stick this in my oven. I'll be right back. So the chicken that we have here is, as I said, just a basic roaster, about a medium size. And I wanted to go through the prep on this. There's not much to it other than the fact that I've spatchcocked it. Now, if you're wondering about this word spatchcocking, I have an entire video on this. It doesn't take long. It doesn't need to be an entire video in terms of length, but it's short, it's quick. It'll tell you how to be able to flatten out a chicken like this. And so it will cook faster and will cook more thoroughly. That's the starting point where we have right here. I'm going to put some of my oil. I think the total amount of oil for this is going to be about 5 or 6 tablespoons. And that's for the entire dish. Just so if you're trying to pre-portion out before you make everything. So I've got some oil here on the top side, or actually the inside. And we are going to salt and pepper this until it's blue in the face. No, it has no face. So we've got that. So don't go too nuts, but make sure you get salt everywhere that you need to get it. That looks good for that one top side. You can do a little bit of black pepper. But here's my next surprise. For those of you who actually keep up with the channel, I have here some, this is a barbecue dry rub. This stuff works perfectly on chicken. And so I have this left over from the other night, and by God, I'm going to use it. So we're just gonna give it a pretty medium coating. It doesn't need, we're not blackening the chicken, but we want to get it just about everywhere that we want to get it. Let's make sure to get it under those legs. And there. I'm going to pat this down a little bit, make sure that it all stays. And we're going to flip it over and do the top side. I did, before spatchcocking the chicken, wash it, dry it quite thoroughly. We have some food safety issues that we always need to keep in mind, just at least a little bit. But it also just general cleanliness, and yeah, you get the idea. So I'm hitting this with something that I can cook with in terms of it being a higher heat oil. I mean, this isn't canola or anything like that, but it'll take being on a chicken, not a problem. And it's going to allow us to adhere our dry rub, and it's also itself going to allow a proper amount of browning. So, you know, we always want a good looking chicken when it comes out. It's not pallid or pale or looking to the average person like it perhaps might be underdone. So a little bit more of that dry rub. Spices are expensive. Reuse what you can when you have the opportunity to. And so now we are just waiting for the 25 minutes to be up on those potatoes. We'll take them out. We're going to stir them around a bit, flip them over, make sure that they all get cooked evenly. And then we're going to add in the quartered onions that you see there and chuck it back in for another 20 minutes. And then this is ready to go. Okay, so we're at our first benchmark, I guess. I'll see you in a little bit. Hey, so after 25 minutes in the oven, we're just going to go ahead and give these a quick review. So these are not going to be completely done yet, but I wanted to take a look at them and to see how far they are. You know what? These are starting to get where we want them to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to forego the next pre-cook, and I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken in here. I'm going to move most of the potatoes off to the side. Then I'm going to take my chicken and just simply layer it in there on top. We're going to shove the wing tips in underneath. Make sure everything gets cooked appropriately without being overly exposed. The wing tips could, of course, end up getting a little bit overcooked if I just let them out that way. And the other thing that I'm going to do, since I've walked off here, is to grab my Bluetooth wireless thermometer. And this thing's going to help us out by telling us exactly how far away these things have been cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the nice thick portion here. We want to know when this gets to 160, 165 degrees. So this is now ready to go back into the hot box. This is still hot. And I expect that this is going to take 25 minutes to a half an hour. So this is almost ready. So let's put this back in. I will catch you back here in a few minutes. And now we are finally out of the oven. And it took an additional 13 to 15 minutes. It took about 45 on this one. And I suspect it's because I didn't have this chicken out at room temperature before I started cooking it. So you'll excuse me for the time on that one. Secondly, I also, after I put it in the oven, realized I didn't put in my quarters for the these onions, and I just dropped them on into the corners as soon as I put them back in. So pardon for that. But this chicken is looking really good. And my onions are peeled back a little bit. That tells me that they've been cooked appropriately well. I've got my fork here, and it just goes right through, even through the center one. So we are pretty much ready for dinner. So anyhow, I wanted to just show this thing off because, you know, it's browned nicely, but not certainly not burnt by any means. And the seasoning that we used from the leftover rub the other day, it just looks absolutely fantastic on here, and I'm sure it's gonna work out really well for that dinner. Anyhow, thank you so much for joining us here at Eating Plebeian. We would appreciate if you hit the like and the subscribe buttons. We're still doing the tango with the algorithm and trying to get over certain humps that they like to put in our way. But anyhow, have a good evening. Try out this chicken. It is absolutely a comfort food miracle, if you will. And it's so easy to put together. All you need is a little bit of time in the oven. So I'll see you later on. Bye.